we come to you for our final of two ACCC Division II basketball tournament finals today here on the campus of the University of Montevallo in Central Alabama. From the Central State Bank Arena at McChesney Student Activity Center, two more top seeds square off to determine who goes to next week's Gulf South District Tournament down in Tallahassee, Florida. That's a couple of top two seeds for the men of Snead State, the number 2 seed in this ACCC Division II basketball tournament, and the top seed, Coastal Alabama North, the Coyotes, out of Monroeville, Alabama. We welcome you into the University of Montevallo, along with our cameraman for today, Nathaniel McCall, and also Robert Williamson from JockJive.com. James Hardy with you as we wish you a happy game day from the campus of the University of Montevallo. Coastal Alabama North comes in at 20-11 on the season as they finished in the regular season one game ahead of Snead State with a 14-2 conference mark in the ACCC. They come off a 75-66 win over the number 5 seed Reed State Technical School squad yesterday. And you look at as far as what Coastal Alabama North has done this year, they've scored 76 points per ball game, and take Washington, their primary leader, as he's second in the ACCC in field goal percentage at 61.7% from the field. Tank Washington, the big forward so far this season, the 6'7" sophomore, has averaged 8.3 rebounds per ball game, fourth in the ACCC. And also Coastal Alabama North, they have a pretty solid defense this season as they've come in second in the ACCC, giving up only 69.6 points per ball game, while they've held opponents to 41.8% from the field. That is second in the ACCC. And then you look at Snead State off of one of their best performances of the season in an 84-63 win over MMI yesterday, the number 3 seed. Snead State at 21-8 overall, 13-3 in the ACCC. And they come in second in scoring offense in the ACCC at 82 points per ball game, and also second in the ACCC in three-point percentage defense at 32.5 points per ball game. Terrell Wright comes in leading the ACCC Division II with just shy of a 67% field goal percentage mark. So should be a good ball game. Once again, another couple of top seeds here at the University of Montevallo. As earlier today, a strong finish for Chattahoochee Valley as they outscored Snead State 20-9 in the fourth quarter. They trailed for almost the entire second half. And then the final 4 minutes of the ball game, top seed Chattahoochee Valley was able to pull across the finish line in a 52-45 win. Other games on JockJive today across the South. We have already a final in D2 softball, ACCC action, as Bishop State was able to take care of Coastal Alabama North 15-4 today. And then also Chattahoochee Valley taking on Lurleen B. Wallace. Jason Thompson has that as far as ACCC softball today. Robert Williamson, as far as some community college baseball action, has Lighthouse Christian against Southeastern Baptist also today. So a busy day as far as our ACCC to begin the month of March, as we'll send it down to the floor for our starting lineups.
Between the number 1 seed, Coastal Alabama North, and the number 2 seed, Snead State. The effort will always be about women's championship game will be strong. The Pirates of Chatham has taken the championship. Now, let's meet the starters. First, for the Parsons of Snead State Community College. He's a 6'5" sophomore from Meadville, Pennsylvania, number 1, Davion Butler. He's a 6'2" sophomore from Riverview, Florida, number 3, Josiah Hardy. A 6'7" sophomore from Greenville, Pennsylvania, number 4, Xavier Price. Postgame, Alabama, number 25, Ray Riley. The Snead State, our coach, our head coach, Jeremiah Patterson, and assistant coach, Jacob High. Now let's meet the starters for the number 1 seed, Coyotes of Coastal Alabama North. He's a 6'3" sophomore from Pensacola, Florida, number 1, Ozell Puratoy. He's a 6'7" sophomore from Panama City, Florida, number 2, DeAndre Washington. He's a 6'8" freshman from McIntosh, Alabama, number 4, Whitney Hope Reed. He's a 5'10" freshman from the TL number 10, Elijah Perez. And a 6'2" sophomore from Pensacola, Florida, Joshua Walker. Most Alabama workers led by head coach and coach of the year, Chuck Taylor. Assistant coach, Wesley Hill, Matthew Davis, and John Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Alabama Community College Conference Division II Championship game.
And there you hear the starting lineups for number 1 seed Coastal Alabama North and number 2 seed Snead State, as we're about set to get underway for the ACCC Division II Men's Basketball Tournament Championship here at the campus of the University of Montevallo. James Hardy with you. We appreciate you for joining us here on JockJive.com, where you can watch all ACCC action throughout the season live and on demand. Snead State in the black tops and bottoms and the gold tops and bottoms for Coastal Alabama North as the number 2 seed Snead State Parsons begin with possession of the basketball. Davion Butler, part of the first team all-conference selection, but misses in close as the rebound goes to Coastal Alabama North. Coastal Alabama North, they've averaged 76 points per ball game as the basketball belongs to Pippins. Man-to-man D for the Parsons of Snead State. Here's a 3-ball up, and that just grazes the rim. No good for DeAndre Washington, the sophomore. Coming the other way, Butler has it, goes baseline, and gets fouled, and so he goes to the free throw line for the first free throws of the ball game after the first foul from Coastal Alabama North. DeAndre Washington, his first personal foul. So Coastal Alabama North trying to become the second 1 seed to punch their ticket into the district tournament down in Tallahassee next Saturday, as the first of 2 up and good for Davion Butler. Butler, the sophomore out of Meadville, Pennsylvania, a part of the first team Division II all-conference selection, as he hits both free throws, gets Snead State on the board first. Coming the other way, the Coyotes have it. Purifoy has to back out. A little weave action for Coastal North. Washington pulls up from the elbow. No good. Good man-to-man defense that time by the Parsons. Moving it ahead is Raleigh, as the Coyotes back into a half-court man-to-man. Off the pick, and trying to drive that time was Butler. Butler passes it off Raleigh. Down the lane, gets by his defender, but can't finish. And we'll have looks like a kicked ball, and it goes over to Coastal Alabama North. So Ray Raleigh, the freshman guard, had a really good look at the basket, got by his Coyotes defender, but wasn't able to finish at the basket. So Coastal Alabama North trying to get on the board here early. First 90 seconds and change, as down low is Reed. Backs in, turnaround shot, no, and strong rebound by Butler for Snead State. Up ahead is Harding, as going all the way to the basket, Harding misses, and the rebound by Brittany Reed. Up ahead, Purifoy. Almost lost it, and because of a reach-in foul that time on Snead State. Foul on Ray Raleigh, the freshman point guard, his first personal foul. A baseline out of bounds coming up for Coastal Alabama North. Still trying to get on the scoreboard. A little give and go as Elijah Pippins tries to dump it down to Reed and turns it over. 3-on-2 for Snead State. As the ball goes over to Price. Tries to go in, muscles it up, no, and a strong rebound by Coastal Alabama North. Coyotes have numbers that they can move it. As driving in, Purifoy's leaner up and good. Snead State could not convert at the basket on one end as Ozell Purifoy, the sophomore out of Pensacola, Florida, with his first two. Second game of the week for both teams is a great backdoor look to Butler for the deuce. Davion Butler with all four of Snead State's points as Purifoy forces it up from about 8 feet and gets it to go. So it's Ozell Purifoy for Coastal North 4 and Davion Butler for Snead State 4. Almost 3 minutes played in this first half as we have a whistle and a foul coming up on Coastal Alabama North. So it appears Elijah Pippins and indeed Pippins on his first personal foul. Second team foul for the Coyotes. Josiah Harding, the sophomore guard, has the basketball. As Butler, a solid start with a couple of free throws and a field goal. He drives in. Left-handed shot, no good, and the rebound by Brittany Reed, the 6'8 freshman forward. Other way, Purifoy in the lane. Tries to leave it off as a good up and under move, that time for Washington, and he'll have a chance for the and one as Coastal Alabama North with their first lead early on. Foul goes on Josiah Harding, his first. Second team foul for Snead State. Snead State at 21-8 on the season coming into today as the free throw rolls off, no good. Rebound by Snead State's Xavier Price. Harding directs traffic. Still a man-to-man defense for the Coyotes. Ray Raleigh has it. Goes up against Joshua Whitehurst as swatted out of there, out of bounds by Brittany Reed. Shot clock at 11 as the out of bounds deep at the baseline. That's close to the Coastal Alabama North bench. So a somewhat tricky inbounds coming up for Harding. Price with the inbounds. Tries to back down his defender as the shot clock down to 6. Raleigh has it. Accelerates, kicks out. Good look at the three. A high arcer is off the mark. No good for Deloach. Rebound to Coastal North as they're on the run. There's the layup a little bit too strong that time for Washington, and the foul on the rebound goes on the Coyotes. So Elijah Pippins picks up his second personal foul. And so the third team foul now for Coastal Alabama North, as that'll bring in a couple of early substitutions for Coastal North. Gerard Living, the sophomore, checks in. And also that means Elijah Pippins will have to go to the bench for much of the rest of the first half in foul trouble. Should be due immediate timeout at the next whistle as Butler pulls up, free throw line jumper, rims out, no. Offensive rebound and put back, however, there for Xavier Price. Good positioning by Price that time to collect his first bucket. Here's Purifoy. Long deuce up and good. So Ozell Purifoy off to a solid start. 3 field goals and, in fact, has all but 2 of the 8 points for Coastal Alabama North as Butler for 3, too strong. Rebound by Purifoy. Purifoy trots it and now accelerates towards the rim. Strong layup, no, but he'll go to the free throw line as we go under 15 and a half minutes to go in the opening half, that is. The third team foul on Snead State, and that brings us to our first media timeout as Xavier Price on the foul, his first, and so we'll take this timeout. 15:23 to go until halftime. 8-6 in favor of Coastal Alabama North as you're watching the ACCC Men's Division II Basketball Championship here on JockJive.com.
Just battle Wayne Jones County. Diving catches shortstop. Gross. gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Kraft's got it. Long throw over, and he got it.
$15 minutes, 23 seconds to go in the opening half. Very early so far for the ACCC Division II Men's Basketball Tournament Championship. Right now, a 2-point lead for Coastal Alabama North as Ozell Purifoy to the free throw line, the sophomore, with a couple of free throws after the foul from Snead State's Xavier Price. Coastal Alabama North, coached by Chuck Taylor, who was at least recognized as the ACCC Division II Men's Basketball Coach of the Year. There's Purifoy, a strong start so far, and that first of two free throws rims out no good. Purifoy already with 6 points here in the first half, as we'll have a substitution. Ja'Kai Deloach checks out, and first time for us to see Jordan Turner Durley, the sophomore guard for Snead State. Second free throw up, and this time good for Purifoy. So 1 and 2. From the charity stripe, he has 7. Coastal Alabama North, a 3-point advantage. Harding has it. So far, Davion Butler with 4 of his team's 6 points. Butler tries to go up against the man-to-man defense. Raleigh swings it over as Durley back out to Raleigh for 3, up and good. Ray Raleigh on the board with his first triple to tie it up at 9 apiece. Coastal North has the basketball. Purifoy off the screen, goes in. A tough little leaner, up and good for 2 as he has a hot start. 9 points to lead all scorers as the Coyotes back on top. Good pace by both teams to get things going on this first Saturday of March. Here's a long 3 for Butler, no good. And rebounds saved inbounds, but no, it'll be last touched out of bounds by Coastal Alabama North as Gabe Stevens last to touch it out of bounds. I beg your pardon, Antarius Beasley into the ball game as he was the last to touch it for Coastal North. Bad pass on the inbounds and a run out off the steal as the layup, no. But a foul goes, looks like on Butler. As check that, Reggie Como into the ball game as he'll have a chance for a couple of free throws after the Davion Butler foul. Butler his first, and for the Snead State Parsons, their 4th team foul. So Reggie Como into the ball game out of Houston, Texas, the 6'7" sophomore forward. Coastal North coming off a 75-66 win over Reed State yesterday in the semifinal round. That's the first of 2 up and rims around and falls. So his first point. Out goes Josiah Harding for Snead State, and it'll be O'Neal, the sophomore wing, basically a perimeter forward, Jadern O'Neal for the Snead State Parsons. Free throw up and good. So Como 2 out of 2 from the free throw line. Snead State 3 out of 4 as a team. As the advantage now up to 4 for the Coyotes. Butler and the Snead State Parsons with it as Butler kicks out. Good look, open 3 up and an airmail as we'll have a whistle and a foul on the rebound. A great look that time by Jordan Turner Durley, but he missed everything on the three-point try. So Reggie Como on his first personal foul. So that's team foul number 4 for Coastal Alabama North. Played a little more than 6 minutes of the opening half. Davion Butler, the sophomore, controls. Raleigh with a 3-point basket. Now surveys the man-to-man. Butler backs in. Tough fadeaway. No good. Offensive rebound and putback, however, good for 2. Great job on the offensive rebound by Terrell Wright, the sophomore, his first 2. Here's Purifoy with a little finger roll, no good. And we'll have a rebounding foul go on Coastal Alabama North. So the foul goes on Reggie Como, so that's quickly his second personal foul, so he'll have to take a seat on the bench with a couple of points. So Snead State, an opportunity to tie with the 2 or retake the lead with the 3. Butler off the weave goes in. Good kick out in the corner for the 3 ball. No good. As the missed shot that time by O'Neal. Coastal Alabama on the run as the pull-up 3. No good for Whitehurst, and offensive rebound for the Coyotes. Whitehurst, a little pick and roll action. His pull-up 17-footer is up and good for 2. Josh Whitehurst, the sophomore, his first field goal, and the lead back up to 4 for Coastal Alabama North, the top seed. The leaner up and good, and an opportunity at an and 1 for Davion Butler. Good maneuvering that time by Butler as he was able to score his second field goal and draws the 6th team foul for Coastal Alabama North, and they'll call the foul on Josh Whitehurst, his first. Never want to foul the jump shooter if you're the defender, and that's exactly what Whitehurst did. Butler for the and 1. Free throw falls. Front rim centered and went through as Butler with a team high 7. So he has exactly half of Snead State's 14 as Davion Butler to the bench. A much-deserved breather. Right now a game high 9 for Coastal Alabama North's Ozell Purifoy. Mackay McIntyre into the ball game as Washington gets it back off to McIntyre. They'll swing it over Purifoy. Off the screen. Hands off. Good look as the 3 and air ball from Josh Whitehurst. And so out of bounds goes at least the ball from Coastal Alabama North to Snead State. As we'll have a substitution as Jonathan Finch checks in for Coastal Alabama North. An update as far as some of our other action on JockJive as Southeastern Baptist College defeats Lighthouse Christian College today, 14-8. Coming the other way, Snead State an opportunity to get back into the lead. O'Neal hands off as Durley back to O'Neal, and we'll have a whistle, and I think they're going to say a foul on the floor. And either way, it's going to be free throws coming up because now in the bonus is Snead State. That was the 7th team foul for Coastal Alabama North. And they'll call the first foul on Jonathan Finch, the freshman wing player. So Jadern O'Neal misses the 1-and-1 free throw. And so the rebound goes to Coastal Alabama North. They'll move it up ahead. Quick 3 from the corner, up and good. So that time, Mackay McIntyre able to spot up at the far corner and drain the 3. Coastal Alabama North now up 4. Harding has it as he goes in, lays it up, no, but he gets fouled as Gerard Living, the sophomore, with his first personal foul. And a couple of free throws coming up for the Parsons. That brings us on the 12-minute mark, so another media timeout. 11:39 to go in the first half. The advantage for the Coastal Alabama North, the top seed, as you're watching the ACCC Division II Men's Basketball Tournament Final here on JockJive.com.
Played some travel ball, you've shared the videos. Mom and Dad can only root so much. It's time to get real interest from the colleges and scouts in your area, right where you live. That's why the Showcase Series is different. We're not just another tournament, we're an advancement event where you get real-time exposure with live TV coverage of our games that get you seen directly by the coaches you want to impress from anywhere in the world. Register for events at showcaseseries.org. It's your turn at bat.
$11:39 to go here in the opening half. Back and forth so far when it comes to the pace early on, as Coastal Alabama North has led for much of the first 8.5 minutes of the opening half. James Hardy with you here on JockJive.com, our final game of the weekend from the campus of the University of Montevallo. 8 team fouls so far for the Coyotes of Coastal Alabama North. To the line goes Josiah Harding. Snead State in the black tops and bottoms today. Harding trying to get in the scoring column and not able to do so, at least on that free throw. One more to come. Plenty of Parsons as well as Coyotes on the all-conference team at the end of the regular season. Tank Washington for Coastal Alabama North among those members in the first team. As 1 of 2 for Harding, also a first-team member in the ACCC Division II first team for Snead State. Elijah Pippin's back in with a couple of fouls as McIntyre has it with a 3 ball so far in the first half. Trying to work a little pick and roll action. Is just inside the perimeter. The shot up, no good for Pippins, as we'll have a rebounding foul on Snead State. 5th team foul of the half. And the foul goes on Jordan Turner-Durley, the sophomore, his first personal foul. So the Coyotes get a second crack at it as Elijah Pippin set to inbound. Pippin's looking for someone and able to get it into Washington. Pippins has it. Guarded it man-to-man by Josiah Harding. Almost 9 minutes played first half. Screen set by Living as the pull-up jumper from the free throw line. Short, no good by Finch. Coastal North has settled for a lot of mid-range jumpers so far in this first half. And that was tightly contested by Snead State. Kick-out pass flagged down by Ray Raleigh back in for Snead State. Here's Durley down the lane, almost traveled. Stripped, got it back, puts it up and in for 2. Very determined effort by Jordan Turner-Durley as he's able to get his first field goal. And the lead for the Coyotes down to 1. Finch kicks out as the drive for Pippins, and he's held on the play. Looks as if Josiah Harding, number 3, picks up his second personal foul. And so the next foul for Snead State puts the Coyotes of Coastal Alabama North to the free throw line for the rest of the first half. Snead State already in the bonus as Coastal Alabama North with 8 team fouls. So a lot of fouls so far for both of these teams, and we're not to the 10-minute mark of the first half. Inbounds pass as Washington has it. McIntyre recycles the offense. McIntyre looks over the D, has a long jumper. Good for 2 from the top of the key. So DeAndre in Washington that time with his second field goal, able to get a clear look at the basket from almost 20 feet. And no worries there on the long jumper. Snead State with it. Corner 3 up and good. Nice job that time by Jadern O'Neal to line up that 3. Check that, Jadern O'Neal with his first points of the ball game on the corner 3. Snead State comes in one of the top offenses in the community college ranks at 82 points per ball game, and away from the ball, an offensive foul on Coastal Alabama. So that's their 9th team foul, but a player control foul, as that's the second personal foul on Gerard Living. So Snead State ties it up at 20 apiece off of the 3-point basket by O'Neal. They have a chance to regain the lead. Halfway through the opening half, they'll swing it over as Butler back in. So far today with a team-high 7. Cut off, needs help, able to get it as he gets the return pass. Here's Raleigh wide open, buries the 3 to give the Parsons the lead. Ray Raleigh, his second triple of the ball game. So back-to-back 3s for the Parsons puts them on top. And just lack of communication that time as the pass intended for McIntyre goes out of bounds. Unforced turnovers for the top seed Coyotes, as coming out will be Jonathan Finch for Coach Chuck Taylor's squad. Jeremiah Patterson, the coach for Snead State. as the Parsons trying to build their lead to 2 possessions. Durley turns it over. That's the steal for the Coyotes. Fake on the 3. Nice pass to Washington as his floater's no good. Rebound by the Parsons. Raleigh on the move as O'Neal goes in, puts it up, no. Gets his own rebound. Check that. Raleigh on the offensive rebound. Counted and a foul. So now a 2-possession lead for Snead State as they've gone in an 8-0 run. And Ray Raleigh with a chance for an and one as they'll call the foul on Mekhi McIntyre, his first personal foul. And so that's the 10th team foul for Coastal Alabama North. So that means 2 free throws the rest of the way, minus this one because an and one opportunity. Free throw for Raleigh up and good. So Ray Raleigh now with the team high 9. Also a game high 9 along with Coastal Alabama North Sozel Purifoy. Purifoy back in as McIntyre at the point. Purifoy skips it out. Pippins with it, gets a screen from Reed back in. Here's the 3 for Whitehurst, up and no. And good box out that time by Price on the rebound. Snead State has it. Here's a good look in the corner. 3 ball for O'Neal, up and no. Offensive rebound for the Parsons. Here's Butler for 3, up and chips glass. That's the rebound for Whitehurst. Coastal Alabama North has it as we're due immediate timeout at the next whistle. Mekhi McIntyre slows it down. Man-to-man D for Snead State, the number 2 seed in this tournament. Pull-up jumper, a fadeaway, too strong. Not good shot selection by Purifoy as the rebound by Xavier Price. So Snead State can make it as much as a 9-point lead here. So they've gone on a 9-0 run over about the last 2.5 minutes. Butler gets free, forces it up, no. Rebound tapped out to Whitehurst. McIntyre down the lane, leaves it off. Washington in easy deuce for 2. So Washington, his third field goal, I beg your pardon, now has 6. Lead down to 4 for the Parsons. On the drive, O'Neal swatted out of there. And the rebound to Coastal Alabama. Up ahead, Washington lays it up and in for 2. 26 for Snead State, 24 for Coastal Alabama North. A matchup between the top 2 seeds here in the ACCC Division II men's basketball tournament. The tournament championship here at Montevallo as the drive for O'Neal kicks out. Butler fakes, long deuce up and too strong. Offensive rebound battled for and comes to Snead State. Loose ball as coming away with it is the Parsons. Shot clock at 13. 6 minutes to go first half as Butler draws a foul as we'll have a media timeout coming up. That's team foul number 10, actually over the double bonus now for Coastal Alabama North. So 2 free throws coming up after this timeout. 5:58 to go until halftime. 26 for Snead State, 24 for Coastal Alabama North as you're watching the ACCC Division II Men's Basketball Tournament Championship on JockJive.com.
Just about all white Jones County. Diving catch, shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Crafts got it. Long throw over, and he got it.
Five minutes, 58 seconds left until halftime. We'll have Robert Williamson's conversation with ACCC Commissioner Dean Myrick at halftime. Right now, a competitive ball game between the number 1 seed Coyotes of Coastal Alabama North and the Parsons, the number 2 seed squad from Snead State, as the leading scorer in the conference, Davion Butler, to the line for a couple. Free throw up and good. He averages close to 20 points per ball game, almost about halfway to that per game average. Actually, almost 21 points, 20.9 to be exact. There's one more free throw coming up. That's also good. So 3 of 4 today from the free throw line is Davion Butler, the sophomore wing player, among those first-team selections in the regular season. Part of that first-team all-conference squad for Division II. Purifoy has it. Whitehurst off the screen. He's a second-team selection when it comes to the regular season all-conference squad. Is to pull up just inside the arc, no good. And an easy rebound for Snead State. Butler on the rebound. Wide open look. O'Neal from the corner banks it in. An odd angle that time as Snead State able to get the Jaydern O'Neal corner bank shot, his second three, as Snead State up by their largest margin in the ball game, up 7. That's a narrow, acute angle from the corner, but somehow, hey, the bank's open on a Saturday. 5:25 to go until halftime. And so Chuck Taylor, head coach and coach for Coastal Alabama North, the ACCC Division II Coach of the Year, wants to gather his team for this 32nd time out. And so far, Snead State impressive in this first half as they lead by 7. And they've been able to get some contributions from 3 Snead. Really all a good team effort all the way around, but Butler leads as well as Ray Raleigh with a game-high 9. And then for Coastal Alabama North, Josel Purifoy also with a team and game-high 9 points. So Coastal Alabama North down 7 as Snead State with the momentum. McIntyre at the point. Extended minutes off the bench today. As off the screen into the game, Duncan leaves it off. 3 ball up and chips glass that time for Brittany Reed. Butler off the rebound. Drives baseline, met by 2 defenders as he has to kick it out to Raleigh. Back to Butler. NBA 3 up and no. And rebound goes to Coastal Alabama North as we have a foul after the rebound on Jaydern O'Neal. So O'Neal his first, and that is team foul number 7 for Snead State. Under 5 minutes to go in the opening half. So all the way to our left goes, looks like DeAndre in Washington to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. Big free throws coming up for the Coyotes. And so the Coyotes could use a couple of free throws, but the first of a 1-and-1, no good. So check that. Duncan that time at the free throw line misfires on the 1-and-1. O'Neal has it the other way. Into the paint, almost traveled with it and throws it away. 3-on-2 for Coastal North. Good look as good body control as well, but the first shot, no. Second try, good. And an and-one opportunity coming up for the top-seeded Coyotes. So Washington on the cleanup that time. Initial miss by Purifoy's. Washington now into double figures as he takes the game-high lead in individual scoring with 10. And that's the second personal foul for Xavier Price for Snead State. That's a big transition basket offense from a turnover created by Coastal Alabama North as Washington sinks the free throw. Lead down to 4 for the Parsons. Butler the other way. Goes up against Duncan. And a gyrating move as Butler gets it to go as he's into double figures with a game-high 11. He and DeAndre in Washington for Coastal Alabama North with 11. Also Tank Washington, a solid performance so far as we have a steal for Snead State. Jaydern O'Neal comes up with the bad pass from Coastal Alabama North. Raleigh with it, drives in and skips it in the corner. O'Neal, a Euro step, and the dipsy doodle layup is up and good for 2. So O'Neal with his third field goal. He has 7 in Snead State with their largest lead at the first half. Here's Purifoy, drives in, puts it up, draws contact, but no whistle as the rebound off the miss to Butler. Snead State on the run. Butler directs traffic as Raleigh with the top of the key. Kick out pass, 3-ball from the wing, up and too strong. However, the rebound looked like might have been a travel, no whistle. As they'll swing it over, Raleigh all alone and misses the 3. As Coastal Alabama North gets the rebound, and we'll come to our final media timeout of the first half. 3:10 to go until halftime. An 8-point lead for Snead State as you're watching the ACCC Division II Men's Basketball Tournament Championship on JockJive.com.
Played some travel ball. You've shared the videos. Mom and Dad can only root so much. It's time to get real interest from the colleges and scouts in your area right where you live. That's why the Showcase Series is different. We're not just another tournament. We're an advancement event where you get real-time exposure with live TV coverage of our games that get you seen directly by the coaches you want to impress from anywhere in the world. Register for events at showcaseseries.org. It's your turn at bat.
3 minutes, 10 seconds until halftime here at the University of Montevallo, Central State Bank Arena at McChesney Student Activity Center. Our final game this weekend of the ACCC Division II Men's Basketball Tournament. Earlier today, it was a strong finish for the Chattahoochee Valley ladies that was able to outlast Snead State 52-45 in the Women's Tournament Championship. Also on JockJive today, just going final, a 10-inning affair in ACCC softball as Lurleen B. Wallace able to outlast Chattahoochee Valley 4-3 in extra innings. Chattahoochee Valley basketball out of the timeout, or I beg your pardon, Coastal Alabama North basketball out of the timeout. Here's an open look, 3-ball up and no good for Duncan. Long rebound tracked down by Ray Raleigh. Raleigh brings it up himself as Turner Durley into the ball game. Raleigh goes up against Duncan, now drives past him, the floater, and they would set it up, at least they set it up for a lob, did Raleigh, but instead a foul called before the lob. Double bonus for Snead State, so a couple of free throws anyway coming up for Ray Raleigh. So far he has 9 points, and as a team, Snead State 4 out of 5 from the free throw line in the first half. First of a couple coming up, and the first free throw pops out of there, no good. No worries, though, as one more to go for Ray Raleigh, who's had a highly productive first half. One more out of 2 free throws, and that one is good. So Raleigh into double figures with 10. Joins Davion Butler into double figures for Snead State. They've combined for 21 at the Parsons, 36 points here in the first almost 20 minutes. As an open 3 look, in and out, no good for Coastal Alabama North. Gerard Living almost got the 3 to go that time as Butler guarded at the baseline, a double team. Able to wrap it around baseline as here's the finger roll layup, good for Jaydern O'Neal. O'Neal with 9 off the bench as the lead into double figures now for the number 2 seed Snead State Parsons. McIntyre has it. He goes down toward the lane, forces it up there and finds the bottom of the sack. Mekhi McIntyre, the sophomore, his first 2. McIntyre out of Houston, Texas, as that draws the Coyotes to within 9. Parsons basketball. Almost 90 seconds to go until halftime. Raleigh creates a little separation. Gets the ball back from Butler, and now Raleigh swings it over. 3-ball up and no good for O'Neal. Rebound to Coastal Alabama North. McIntyre on the move as Duncan recycles the offense. The Coyotes slow it down. McIntyre with 15 on the shot clock. Keeps the dribble alive. Solid defense being shown by Coastal North as McIntyre bricks the 3. And the rebound come by Terrell Wright. Less than a minute to go until halftime. Already a timeout used by Coastal Alabama North, the top seed, as they're in some trouble right now, down 9. Butler with 11 has it. They'll swing it over to the corner as the teardropper up and good as the lead back up to 11 as O'Neal into double figures with 11. Shot clock and game clock about 3 seconds between themselves. So functionally, Coastal Alabama North can hold for the final shot. McIntyre has it. It's right now the momentum on the side of the team in black. McIntyre goes in all the way into the paint, floats it up, no, and strong rebound by Butler. Clock at 2 as Butler the other way puts it up against the buzzer, no, and no goaltending as at halftime an 11-point advantage for the number 2 seed Snead State Parsons as they take a 40-29 lead over the Coyotes, a top seed Coastal Alabama North. We'll take this timeout, and then we'll have our own Robert Williamson's conversation with ACCC Commissioner Dean Myrick on the other side of this halftime break.
Just about all white Jones County. Diving catch it, shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Crafts got it. Long throw over, and he got it.
At halftime, 40-29 in favor of number 2 seed Coastal Alabama North. James Hardy with you as we'll show you our own Robert Williamson's conversation with ACCC Commissioner Dean Myrick from earlier this week. Once again, at halftime, number 2 seed Snead State 40 and top seed Coastal Alabama North 29.
Talking with Dean Myrick, the commissioner of the ACCC, getting ready as we speak, and obviously this is going to be played at halftime of games that have already begun, so we will be in the midst of Division II men's quarterfinal action. Dean, wow, what another great year for the ACCC in basketball. On the women's side, you had to go to a coin toss to determine one of the seedings. That's not the first time, I don't think, but it doesn't happen often.
It's been the first time in a while. Yeah, we just had a lot more parity this year, you know, especially on the women's side. Even on the D1 side, I believe it's going to come down to a coin flip on seeds. So, which is good. You know, on the men's side. On the women's side's already determined, the 6 teams. But, yeah, parity's a good thing.
We are here at the University of Montevallo. First trip inside the McChesney Student Activity Center. I love the facility.
It's nice. It's a good size for us and a little bit more centrally located, I guess you could put it that way. So, but no, they've been good to work with, and luckily they were on the road today and Saturday, so that worked out well for us.
Now, is this the first of a multi-year agreement, or? No,
it's a 1 year, which makes it difficult because they don't know their schedules, you know, until their conference schedules come out. So, yeah, everything, and it makes it difficult, like I said, being on a 1 year deal. But, you know, that's something we're going to have to look at in the future. So, yeah, it's getting more and more difficult to find these neutral site facilities. So we're in discussion now with the city of Montgomery for D1 and D2, because this will be the last year at UAH for Division I. So we're in the market for 2 tournaments, which it's not easy to find, especially this time of year because, you know, the 4 years are still in season, so you're at the mercy of their conference schedules. So we'll make something happen, though.
I love the choice, though. I love this venue. I love the atmosphere. I love the campus. I mean, this is just a great part of the state. Last year it was at Bishop State. So, and not to take anything away from Bishop, but that being part of the ACCC, it didn't maybe feel quite as, you know, exclusive club type mentality.
It didn't.
But now you're here, and it's got that feel.
It does, and you know, the neutral site games are nice, but there's a lot of logistics that people don't realize, whether it's finding an announcer or a scorebook keeper, or they use Wilson balls, so we have to use Spalding, so we have to go find balls, and so it's difficult logistically figuring all that out versus being on a campus where it's already there. So I've even thought about, do we have our D1 tournament on a D2 campus, one of our D2 campuses, and vice versa. But, obviously we want the neutral site, and, we'll see what comes up from Montgomery and go from there.
Where this particular tournament is concerned, how did Montevallo become the option for?
I just started looking at schedules and like who's off this week. Or who's away this week. We looked at, Faulkner, but they're the practice site for the Southern States Conference, and AUM is at home, and, Alabama State, and, so Montevallo's away. Pick up the phone and call the AD and say, hey, back, and they were willing. So, same thing for UAH, and so we, knock on wood, it worked out this year. So, but again, it's a one-year deal, and you start doing the same thing for next year. But we'll figure something out.
Now, in the past, you've given me the okay to ask any question I did not ask you prior to the interview. Do I still have that leeway?
You do. I have the leeway not to answer, too, though. But
well, I just know that there has been, we've talked about it in years gone by, about the ACCC and the branding aspect.
Oh.
Has there been any movement where that's concerned?
There's actually been a lot of movement. Still don't know a name. We will release that the end of July at our AD meeting and coaches meeting, the big one we have. So, we contracted with a third-party company, and we've had a ton of phone calls and meetings, and we've had presidents and ADs involved in that, and so we're at the point now they will send us suggestions based on those interviews with coaches and athletic directors and things that they have researched. So it's we're heavy into it, and it's been difficult. It's not as easy as just spitting out a name, and you want something that mirrors our conference, what we're about, ideals, what we look to do, and so we're trying to find something, or they're trying to find something, that fits what we're about.
Does that mean a name change is coming, or I'm assuming the president still had the flexibility of rejecting any recommendation?
It will be an expensive rejection if they do. No, we'll have a new name. Obviously it's not going to be something that everyone may agree with, and that's fine. But it's got to be something that we're all comfortable with, whatever it is, and to help us market, not only us but the schools and so on and so forth. So it's been a fun process, but it's been a tedious process, and it's not. They, just to give a quick example, they sent us. We had a meeting, and they brought forth, I think it was 10 names just off the cuff, and we were like, nah, none of them. So
back to the drawing board.
Back to the drawing board. So it's difficult but fun, because you find out a lot about what. The thing that helped me the most was hearing. That's the first time ever we've had ADs and presidents together, and it was very, especially from the presidential side, what they think of us, what they think we can be, what they want us to be. So that was very refreshing to hear their side of it, and they want some big things. I'm like, I do too, but we know with big things comes a little bit of money. But it's been a great process.
Well, let me say kudos to you and to the presidents as well, because you have had a progressive mentality. I don't think there's a bigger conference in the country in junior college athletics than the ACCC would consider all the different sports and schools involved. Maybe there is, but I'm not familiar.
They're bigger ones. No one's grown like we have. I mean, since 2021, we've added 80 teams.
Wow.
4 members, which is good. You know, obviously flag football is our next big thing coming up in the fall, which is blown up in a good way. That's going to be extraordinary. So, but yeah, we're just trying to keep up and help everyone out. But yeah, our presidents have been great with their support and all they're helping us do.
Let me spring one on you. There are all kinds of cuts going on right now, federally funding-wise. Does that have any impact at the junior college level?
So far, no. You know, the state of Alabama, from a budget standpoint, has been really good. Now, there may be some listeners like, no, it's not. But overall, from a 2-year college, now I'm not speaking on behalf of the system. I'm just, you know, what I see and what I think, you know, it's been very good. And our chancellor has been, gosh, just awesome and with that. So we're fortunate. I hope it doesn't stop, but we're in a good position right now.
I'm going to let you go a little bit early. Folks who do not know, we're just prior to the game getting this recorded, and you are extremely busy. And right now, as I look at the clock, it's 12 minutes to 10. So
we're ready.
I guess we better let you go and enjoy what you do behind the scenes for D2.
It's been good. You know, the whole D1, D2 thing has done exactly what it was intended to do. So, you know, 2 days we'll crown a champion and move on to D1 next week.
Dean Myrick, the commissioner of the ACC, our guest at halftime.
A big thanks to our own Robert Williamson and to ACCC Commissioner Dean Myrick. Filmed earlier this week here on the campus of the University of Montevallo. At halftime, a strong performance by Snead State, the number 2 seed, as they have an 11-point halftime lead here at the campus of the University of Montevallo at Central State Bank Arena at the McChesney Student Activity Center. We'll go ahead and step aside for this timeout. The second half coming up. The ACCC Division II Men's Basketball Tournament Championship here on JockJive.com.
Just about all White Jones County. Diving catch it, shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Kraft's got it. Long throw over, and he got it.
Here on JockJive.com, we're a little less than 3 minutes away as far as the arena clock from getting the second half underway. James Hardy with you. And a big thanks to our man Nathaniel McCall, and very nice job so far today handling the camera responsibilities for us here at JockJive.com this week. Some unofficial totals for Snead State at halftime as they have 3 players in double figures through the first 20 minutes, 11 each for Jaydern O'Neal off the bench, and then Davion Butler with 11. The top scorer in Division II in the ACCC coming in 2 today. Also, Ray Raleigh with 10, and then a couple each from Jordan Turner-Durley, Terrell Wright, and Xavier Price with a free throw from Josiah Harding. Coastal Alabama North led by 11 points from Tank Washington, 9 from Ozell Purifoy, most of those coming in about the first 8 minutes of play. And then 5 from Mekhi McIntyre and a couple from Josh Whitehurst. But Coastal Alabama North, they've settled for a lot of contested mid-range jump shots inside the three-point line. So the top seed, they are on the ropes right now, down 11. So in a lot of games like this for the team that's trailing and struggling, the first 5 minutes of this second half is going to be critical for Coastal Alabama North That comes in at 20-11 on the season, but they have made their hay in conference play at 14-2 in the ACCC. A big thanks to all of you for joining us today here on JockJive.com. The winner of this ball game, along with earlier today, top seed of the Chattahoochee Valley Lady Pirates. They'll advance at the Gulf South District Championship to take on the Florida Community College Tournament Championship winner in Tallahassee next Saturday afternoon. So we are about ready to get the second half underway, and it's going to be Coastal Alabama North. Could be a tone-setting possession here in the second half. They're down 11, and right now Snead State, and especially for head coach Jeremiah Patterson, he has to love the position that his team is in right now, coming off of one of their best performances of the season in the ACCC Division II men's basketball tournament semifinal yesterday. So Coyotes basketball, starting five for both teams back out on floors. Elijah Pippins with a couple of fouls leads the point. With it is Reed, trying to dump it down low, can't do so on the high-low. Man-to-man defense for the Parsons. Pippins tries to go in. As McIntyre actually into the ball game, as he gets free and misses the chippy and the rebound to Snead State. Pushing it up the floor is Deloach as he goes all the way to the basket and lays it in for two, and that is not the start you want if you're Coastal Alabama North. A missed uncontested layup on one end and give up a layup on the other, but the other way, Ozell Pirifoy into double figures with his first field goal of the second half. 11-point advantage for Snead State, the number 2 seed in this ACCC Division II basketball tournament. Their ladies' counterparts could not finish off Chattahoochee Valley earlier today as Raleigh down the lane. His pass deflected out of bounds off of Mekhi McIntyre. So right now, one of the best games of the season, really one of the best first halves of the year for Snead State. So they come in averaging 82 points per ball game. Coastal Alabama North at 76. As the Parsons with it, Price kicks out. Good look. Corner three up and off the top of the backboard for Ja'Kai Deloach. Coming the other way, McIntyre has it. Here's the three ball up and rims in for Brittany Reed. That's a big shot for Reed as that gets Coastal Alabama North under a 10-point deficit. Lead down to 8 for the Parsons. Deloach picks up the dribble as Butler kicks out. Open three look for Raleigh. Rims out, no good. And rebound by Reed. Coyotes wants to push the tempo. Good look up ahead and an easy layup for two for the Coyotes. Tank Washington. Washington with 13. Second in field goal percentage in the conference at just under 62%. The drive for Deloach, he lost it, but because he was fouled. First foul for either team in the second half. 2 minutes, 12 seconds played here in the second half as the foul on DeAndre and also Tank Washington, his second. Snead State basketball as Butler goes in, lays it up with the left hand. No, but the follow-up flush, however, for Xavier Price. Price, his first points after halftime. Pippins hands off. As Pippins looks over, looks like a matchup zone defensive look for Snead State. Purifoy almost lost it that time. As here's top the key, Pippins off the screen. Whips it over, three ball for Reed, up and good. So Coastal Alabama North starting to get some rhythm as Reed with his second three here in the first 3 minutes of the second half. Lead down to 5 now for Snead State. As Deloach backs in, lost it and almost turned it over, and now Snead State turns it over. Numbers for Coastal North as Purifoy fouled, and I think they're going to call it a shooting foul on Snead State. Looks as if that the foul goes on Jadern O'Neal, and indeed on the sophomore wing player, his second personal check that, I beg your pardon, they'll call the third on Josiah Harding. So the lead once at 13 here in the second half for Snead State, as to the line Purifoy, as he misses the first of two. However, he can cut the deficit down to 4 on a made free throw, as back in comes Jordan Turner-Durley for Snead State. One more free throw to go. As Purifoy so far with 11 and make it 12. So Purifoy, one of a couple of Coyotes in double figures, as Tank Washington leads Coastal North with 13. Butler the other way, thought about the three, and throws it away. A terrible decision that time by Davion Butler, as coming in for the steal was Pippins. In fact, Pippins sloppy with the ball handling. He turns it over himself. And we'll have a whistle, and it appears a timeout, a 30-second timeout initially called for, but as far as the first timeout of the second half, it transitions to a full, and we'll take the timeout with them. 16:32 to go in the ball game. Lead down to 4 for Snead State as you're watching the ACCC Men's Basketball Division II Tournament Championship on JockJive.com.
Played some travel ball. You've shared the videos. Mom and Dad can only root so much. It's time to get real interest from the colleges and scouts in your area, right where you live. That's why the Showcase Series is different. We're not just another tournament. We're an advancement event where you get real-time exposure with live TV coverage of our games that get you seen directly by the coaches you want to impress from anywhere in the world. Register for events at showcaseseries.org. It's your turn at bat.
A 13-point deficit has been shaved down to 4 for Coastal Alabama North, as Snead State still with the advantage, but the momentum on the top seed Coyote side as you take a look at Coach Chuck Taylor. In fact, ACCC Division II Coach of the Year, Chuck Taylor's squad down along across the way from us. James Hardy with you. We appreciate you for joining us here on JockJive.com today. First Saturday in the month of March. And, of course, as you know in the sport calendar, that means March Madness has arrived. Inbounds for Snead State as Jordan Turner-Durley inbounds against full court pressure. Pass thrown away as Purifoy on the steal leaves it off and turned over, as not able to get the handle was Tank Washington. So that could have gotten the Coyotes within one possession, as Washington would have been there for an easy finish. Some full court pressure now for the Coyotes. As across the timeline goes Raleigh, and looks as if we've got an issue with the shot clock. The shot clock started late, and so right now the shot clock at 29 seconds. And now they'll adjust the shot clock to 25. So 5 seconds taken off the 30-second shot clock. Man-to-man defensive look for Coastal Alabama North, as a pick and roll deflected and stolen. Up ahead, here's Pippins down the lane. No whistle on the bump, but the layup for Tank Washington. So Washington heating up to 15 for the ball game. Coming the other way, dribbled off of the foot of Snead State's Jadern O'Neal. They say initially off of O'Neal, but overturned, as he'll say, off of Coastal Alabama North. However, the momentum with the top seed as they were down 13 to start this second half, and a timeout called for by Snead State. The Parsons, coached by Jeremiah Patterson, as they've won 9 of their last 10 ball games coming in to today. A strong defense for Coach Patterson's squad this season, second in actually a strong squad period, both second in scoring offense and second in three-point percentage defense coming in to today. A timeout on the floor, a 30-second timeout, as it gives us some opportunity to recap the day here at the University of Montevallo, as Chattahoochee Valley struggled for much of the day against the second-seeded Lady Parsons squad from Snead State. In fact, Snead State led for the vast majority of the ball game today in the ACCC Division II Women's Tournament Championship before Chattahoochee Valley surged forward down the final 4 minutes to take a 52-45 win and advance to the Gulf South District Tournament in Tallahassee next weekend. The final game of the weekend. This will also determine the final spot as far as from Division II from the ACCC, as far as who goes to Tallahassee next week. A spot in the Gulf South District Championship at stake. There's an inbounds at the baseline for Raleigh. So also, that was the under 16 timeout. Trying to back his way in is Raleigh. There's also O'Neill into the ball game as a turnover for the Parsons. 2-on-1 for the Coyotes as the layup, and they'll say a blocking foul on the play. Looks like on O'Neill. And indeed goes on Jaydern O'Neill. I beg your pardon. They'll say instead Butler with the foul. That's his second personal. And so free throws coming up for Ozell Purifoy with an opportunity for the Coyotes to tie it up. Team fouls now a couple for Snead State, just one for Coastal Alabama North as the free throw rims around and falls. 3 for Ozell Purifoy. Out goes Makai McIntyre for the Coyotes. I beg your pardon, looks like Pippins checks out. McIntyre still in as this is for the tie, up and good. Ozell Purifoy, rock solid game with 14. Tied up at 44 after Coastal Alabama North trailed by as much as 13 here in the second half. Butler, NBA three up and no good. Rebound, however, goes to Snead State as Butler down the lane, puts it up, no. But I think they're going to get Brittany Reed on the foul. And indeed on Reed, one of two Coastal Alabama North players that made contact that time with Davion Butler. Butler, the leading scorer in the ACCC Division II. First point of the second half as he connects on the free throw. So Snead State at 21-8 coming into today. Coastal Alabama North at 20-11. One more free throw to go for Butler. That's up and also good. So he has a team high 13. 1 to 3 Parsons in double figures. Snead State had a 40-29 lead at halftime. However, Coastal Alabama North has already scored 15 here in the second half. Lead back up to a couple as the three ball up for the lead and no good for Reed. Offensive rebound for Purifoy. He's able to snake through and lay it in for two to tie it up. A nifty little move by Ozell Purifoy, who has 16, as Butler goes in and lays it in for two. Snead State breaks the pressure that time as the Parsons retake the lead back and forth over the last 3 minutes. They'll weave it around, will Coastal Alabama North. McIntyre directs traffic. Off the screen comes Whitehurst back in. McIntyre with it. Off the tank Washington screen. As McIntyre goes in and gets free and lays it in for two. Makai McIntyre with the field goal and once again ties it up. In the backcourt, Butler has it. The Parsons break the pressure as Butler fights his way to the basket, and he'll go to the line for a couple. I think it'll be the round goose egg on the number for Makai McIntyre on the foul, his third personal foul. So Davion Butler trying to carry the team on his shoulders for Snead State. Already up to 15 points for the game. Averages almost 21, and he connects on the first of two. So Snead State back into the lead as we'll have Terrell Wright check in for the Parsons. So one more free throw to go. We've played 6 minutes, 7 seconds of this second half. Free throw coming up. That's on the way and good. So Butler up to a game-high 17. Coastal Alabama North has the basketball. McIntyre picks up the dribble as Purifoy waits for the screen, and good look for Whitehurst as it goes in and out on the three. Long rebound tracked down by Deloach. Nice job of Coastal Alabama getting back in transition defensively as Butler sandwiched at the baseline, and will have a timeout called for by Snead State. 13:23 to go in the ball game, as Coastal Alabama North will be down to 2 timeouts for the rest of this ball game, a 30-second timeout. So far, Ozell Purifoy leads Coastal Alabama North with 16 points, followed up right behind him by Tank Washington with 15. And then Snead State led by the game-high 17 from Davion Butler, and then 11 from Jadern O'Neal, as well as 10 from Ray Raleigh. Outstanding second half for Coastal Alabama North as they trailed by 11 at halftime, as much as 13 to start the second half. Snead State trying to hold on to the lead here, as they do have the basketball up by a couple. Inbounds by O'Neal as he gets the return, or Raleigh rather, on the return handoff as Butler tries to spin in, lays it up and in for 2. Athletic move that time as Butler able to maintain the pivot foot, gets the layup to fall. Quickly the other way though, getting free, Purifoy for the layup. So now both teams in rhythm offensively, as the lead at 2 for Snead State. Full court pressure, and Butler up ahead, goes in, lays it up with the right hand and scores. Davion Butler to his per game average with a game high 21. 11 points so far in this second half for the conference's leading scorer. McIntyre directs traffic. Purifoy with a little 2-man game. Off the screen comes Whitehurst. High post look as the turnaround up and good for Como. Reggie Como, his first field goal, 4 off the bench. A 2-point advantage for Snead State, as they have the basketball. They've scored on their last 4 possessions. As coming in, Deloach has it swatted out of his hands, out of bounds. Nice defense by Elijah Pippins, as a baseline out of bounds coming up with 18 on the shot clock. So Ray Raleigh to trigger the inbounds. Good defense on the inbounds, and getting free, however, for the bank shot and missing was Turner Durley. Opportunity for the tie or the lead as Whitehurst with the leaner up and no. And I think, and indeed, last touched by Snead State's Terrell Wright out of bounds. Might have even gotten a foul on the play. Not sure if it was a foul or not, but we know that it is Coastal North basketball. And we'll take the timeout at the under 12 media timeout. 11:55 to go in the ball game. It's Snead State holding on to a 2-point lead here in the ACCC Division II Men's Basketball Tournament Championship on JockJive.com.
Just about all Wayne Jones County. Diving catch it, shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Crafts got it. Long throw over, and he got it.
Snead State 54 and Coastal Alabama North 52. The ACCC Division II Men's Basketball Tournament Championship from the campus of the University of Montevallo. James Hardy with you. As we appreciate you for joining us here on JockJive.com. Also, Nathaniel McCall handling our camera today, our center court camera. A baseline out of bounds coming up for Elijah Pippins and the Coastal Alabama North Coyotes. Inbounds as an open look for Whitehurst and misses everything. Purifoy saves in the inbounds, saves the ball rather, and keeps the possession alive as Pippins on the pull-up jumper, no good. Try no, and this time the layup to tie it up for Gerard Living. So Living able to come away with the offensive rebound. 4 tries that time for the Coyotes as Living ties it up at 54. Ball deflected in the backcourt, and so Snead State still with the basketball. Deloach has it, tries to drive, cut off. Here's Raleigh, almost got an offensive foul. However, let's see, they will count the basket as Snead State retakes the lead. They'll call the foul on Josh Whitehurst, his second personal foul. So Coastal Alabama North with 4 team fouls as Ozell Purifoy, the sophomore, checks out. And the basket that time by Ray Raleigh. So he's up to a dozen. And free throw, no, but the offensive rebound by however, by Prices, that's swatted out of there. Coming the other way, Coastal Alabama North has the drive. And great defense that time by Wright as the rebound to Snead State as Butler the other way. I think they're going to count that on the goaltend. Yes, for Davion Butler. And so that's also a foul on Coastal Alabama North as Mekhi McIntyre on the foul, his 4th personal. So the lead up to 4 for Snead State as Butler now up to 23 points on the day. He can put his team up by 5 with a free throw. So it looks as if that McIntyre does indeed come out. Butler to the line, shoots and scores. An outstanding effort by the sophomore first team all-conference winged player in Davion Butler. Not quite to the halfway mark of the second half. Coyotes basketball as Pippins lets the offense circulate, get a little movement. Now Pippins tries to look for a teammate, gets the ball back. High post, Como throws it away. A turnover for the Coyotes. A wasted possession that time as Butler sets things up. Wants to break down his defender. Now about a 17-footer short, no good. And rebound to the Coyotes. Pippins on the rebound. He wants to go in himself and just throws it up there off the glass and deflected out of bounds. Last touched by Jordan Turner-Durley for Snead State. So Coyotes basketball at the baseline. A tough inbounds as that goes into McIntyre. McIntyre with 4 fouls back in. Come up on the final 10 minutes of regulation as Pippins off the pick and roll from Como. A double screen now as Pippins goes in. Here's teardropper off the glass and in for 2. Elijah Pippins, his first field goal of the ball game. Cuts the deficit down to 3 as the pull-up jumper up and good for Josiah Harding. His first field goal, 3 points in total. Lead back up to 5 for Snead State. Here's the drive down the lane as Purifoy appears back in the ball game, but I believe they're going to call the foul on the floor. And the foul on Davion Butler. And so that, or check that, they're going to call that on Josiah Harding. That's his 4th personal foul. So Harding appears going to be sitting on the bench for a while. As back in comes Jaydern O'Neal. Inbounds pass for Pippins. Gets it into Washington for the jumper, good for 2. Tank Washington up to 17. Lead down to 3. Raleigh at the point. This has turned into an outstanding ball game, as we'll have a reach-in foul, more of a bumping foul, I beg your pardon, still on Coastal Alabama North. So the foul on Elijah Pippins, the freshman, his 3rd personal foul. So Snead State with the shot clock at 21. Raleigh has it. And so work it around. Butler with it. Tries to take on his defender one-on-one double team. Good look at the basket and a good pump fake and count the basket for Xavier Price as he'll go to the line for an and one. Good play by Butler and Price that time. Butler finding Price at the basket, and then Price able to take a power dribble and a pump fake to get himself free, and he'll have a chance for an and one opportunity after the Coastal Alabama North foul from Gerard Living, his 3rd. So Snead State will now shoot free throws for the rest of the ball game as the free throw pops out, no, and the rebound to Tank Washington. That was the 7th team foul for the Coyotes as Pippins wisely turned down the 3. Coyotes slow it down. As Pippins down the lane, his floater with the left hand up and good for 2. Elijah Pippins, the freshman guard, with his 2nd field goal. Snead State has been able to keep about a 3 to 5 point lead for the last couple of minutes. Here's Turner Durley, gets cut off as Butler tries to drive. Raleigh penetrates, lays it up and in, and a foul. Ray Raleigh up to 14 points, and he has a chance to try and capitalize on another and one opportunity, as that is the 4th personal foul on Elijah Pippins. Coastal Alabama North has done a solid job of battling back from a 13-point deficit early in the second half. However, Snead State trying to keep Coastal Alabama North at arm's length as the free throw up and good for Raleigh. We're nearing that under 8 media timeout. A 6-point advantage for the number 2 seed Parsons of Snead State. Pippin still in the game with 4 fouls as Purifoy goes one-on-one against Butler. McIntyre looks for the entry feed, can't find it. Here's Washington, a tough jump shot, no. Offensive rebound, Purifoy, as he'll go to the line for a couple after this media timeout. So they call the foul on as far as Snead State goes, as they'll call the 3rd on Davion Butler. Check that, Davion Butler. We'll take the timeout. 7:50 to go in the ball game. Snead State up by 6 over the top seed Coyotes of Coastal Alabama North. You're watching the ACCC Division II Men's Basketball Tournament Championship on JockJive.com.
Played some travel ball, you've shared the videos. Mom and Dad can only root so much. It's time to get real interest from the colleges and scouts in your area, right where you live. That's why the Showcase Series is different. We're not just another tournament, we're an advancement event where you get real-time exposure with live TV coverage of our games that get you seen directly by the coaches you want to impress from anywhere in the world. Register for events at showcaseseries.org. It's your turn at bat.
50 in the game. 7 minutes, 50 seconds left until one of these two teams gets to the finish line and advances to the Gulf South District Championship in Tallahassee next weekend. And right now, Snead State, after having their lead that was at 13 early in the second half, cut down to as little as 2. They've been able to build the lead back up to 6. Snead State took an 11-point lead at halftime. So far, the leading scorer in the conference, Davion Butler, another outstanding game with 24 points. And however, a free throw opportunity, a couple of them, in fact, coming up for Ozell Purifoy. Purifoy leads the Coyotes with 18, the top seed in this conference tournament, as he misses the first of 2. Still plenty of time to go. As right now, Snead State in the catbird seat. But they still have 7:50 to go in this ball game as 1 of 2 for Ozell Purifoy. Snead State with just 4 team fouls, and Coastal Alabama North with 8 team fouls, so Snead State is in the bonus. Backdoor look as Butler goes in, draws contact but no whistle as the rebound to the Coyotes. Pippins up ahead with 4 fouls, goes in, lays it up, no, as the rebound to Jaydern O'Neal. 2-on-2 is up ahead, Price beats the D and flushes it home. Xavier Price up to 8 as he scored 6 here in the second half. And we'll have a whistle and a timeout called for by Coach Chuck Taylor from Coastal Alabama North. I think looks as if he may want to use a full timeout here. And it is a full, so we'll go ahead and step aside for this timeout here on JockJive.com.
Just about all White Jones County. Diving catch at shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Craps got it. Long throw over, and he got it.
Seven minutes, 13 seconds to go in the ACCC Division II Men's Basketball Tournament Championship from the University of Montevallo. An outstanding facility here at Central State Bank Arena at McChesney Student Activity Center on the Montevallo campus. And right now your score, a 7-point advantage for the Snead State Parsons as they have led for much of, in fact, most of this ball game. A timeout called for by Coastal Alabama North as they are down to just 1 timeout in the ball game. Approaching 7 minutes to go until we get to the finish line. Purifoy has it. They're daring him to shoot the mid-range jumper as he turns it down. Off the screen, Living. And now Purifoy goes in and loses it. Oh, and he gets bailed out on a foul by Snead State. Oh, that's a tough call for the Parsons as they did just about everything but the foul that time. 5 team fouls now in the half. Not sure they called that last foul on. And it's right now the last foul for the Parsons that they have on the board is for Davion Butler. Here's the inbounds pass and the layup for Tank Washington for 2. Oh, that's a big break for Coastal Alabama North as they almost turned it over. Might have led to a fast break for Snead State. Instead, an inbounds layup for Tank Washington. He's up to 19. Coming the other way, here's Raleigh as he kicks out. Open 3 look up and no good off the side rim for Turner Durley. Coastal Alabama North wants to push the tempo. Washington tries to back in and has to pass it out. Good look at the basket as Living makes the layup for 2. The assist by Elijah Pippins as Gerard Living with 4 and the lead down to 3 for Coastal Alabama North as a stoppage in play as Butler will get a well-timed breather here for Coach Jeremiah Patterson, Snead State Parsons. Imagine probably about the under 4 media timeout is when we'll see Butler check back in. Key minutes now for the Parsons to try and maintain the lead. Full court pressure for the Coyotes of Coastal Alabama North. Nice job by O'Neal. It's a great look underneath the basket to Turner Durley for the finish. His second field goal, first points at the second half. 5-point advantage for the number 2 seed Parsons. There's a good dump down as Washington lost it, but I think again that time Coastal Alabama, not due to any as far as malpractice from the officiating, just a break as far as a bad entry pass, and a foul goes on Coastal Alabama, or rather Snead State, I beg your pardon. Jordan Turner Durley with his second personal foul. check that. And indeed, they'll call the foul on Turner Durley. Coyotes have the basketball. Practically crunch time for both of these teams now as McIntyre goes in, leaves it off. Nice look to Living. He can't finish. And the battle for the ball goes to Jaden O'Neal. Up ahead, layup for Raleigh, good, and he'll have an opportunity to finish off an and one. So Coastal Alabama North, they've given up, this is their third and one opportunity as Ozell Purifoy on the foul in transition. So Purifoy his first. A big free throw coming up for Ray Raleigh to make it potentially an 8-point advantage. Free throw up and good. So he has 18. 73-65 in favor of Snead State, the number 2 seed against the top seed as Coastal Alabama North on the ropes. Snead State is led by as much as 13 here in the second half. Coastal Alabama North has led by as much as 4. That was early in the first half. Backdoor look deflected and stolen. Numbers for the Parsons as up ahead the layup for O'Neal, good for 2. Jaden O'Neal up to a baker's dozen. 13 for him. And we'll have a whistle and the final timeout used by Coach Chuck Taylor and Coastal Alabama North, as this will be a 30-second timeout. So for the Coyotes, they will be out of timeouts for the final 4:40 of this ball game. We still have the under 4 media timeout due. But this is a critical possession coming up for Coastal Alabama North as they are down 10 and time becoming a factor for the top seed in this tournament. That's just been an outstanding effort all across the roster for the Parsons, as Coach Jeremiah Patterson has seen 3 of his players score in double figures. Xavier Price close to getting into double figures. Ray Raleigh has 18. Jaden O'Neal with 13, and a game-high 24 for Davion Butler. This is almost like a must-score possession for the top seed Coyotes. Pippins has it. Washington back in the ball game. Shot clock down to 11. Good look for Reed as he pops the 3, no good. Offensive rebound, McIntyre's, he lays it in, and he'll go to the line for a possible and one. Mekhi McIntyre back in the ball game with 4 personal fouls, as they'll call the foul on Jaden O'Neal, his second. So that was a big layup to at least get the deficit down to 8. And a chance for an and one for Mekhi McIntyre, the sophomore, out of Houston, Texas, as his free throw rims out, no good. And the rebound by Xavier Price. Ball in the backcourt. As up ahead behind the defense, Price tried to time the pass, and that goes off of, they'll say, Coastal Alabama North. And it looks as if that Javian Duncan said, however, that he thought it went off of Xavier Price for Snead State. A break for Snead State as they were able to at least keep possession. Inbounds pass goes into Raleigh. Coming up on the final 4 minutes of the ball game. And back in is Harding with 4 personal fouls as Raleigh contacted that time. And they'll call the foul on Josh Whitehurst. That's his 3rd personal foul, and that brings us to our final media timeout. 3:59 to go until we get to the finish line here at the University of Montevallo. It's the 2nd-seeded Parsons of Snead State 75, the top-seeded Coyotes of Coastal Alabama North 67. You are watching the ACCC Division II Men's Basketball Tournament Championship on JockJive.com.
Played some travel ball, you've shared the videos. Mom and Dad can only root so much. It's time to get real interest from the colleges and scouts in your area right where you live. That's why the Showcase Series is different. We're not just another tournament, we're an advancement event where you get real-time exposure with live TV coverage of our games that get you seen directly by the coaches you want to impress from anywhere in the world. Register for events at showcaseseries.org. It's your turn at bat.
The final 3 minutes and 59 seconds here at the University of Montevallo. An outstanding facility at Central State Bank Arena at the McChesney Student Activity Center. And right now your score is number 2 seed Snead State looking to pull away from top seed Coastal Alabama North here in this ACCC Division II Men's Basketball Tournament Championship game. A big thanks to all of our ACCC crew from JockJive.com. Of course, our own founder and CEO, Robert Williamson, and Nathaniel McCall handling the camera today as the free throw up and good for Ray Raleigh. So Raleigh 1 point away from getting to 20 for the day. They called the foul prior to the timeout on Josh Whitehurst, his third. So now 2 free throws for the rest of the ball game, as both good for Ray Raleigh. A 10-point advantage for Snead State, as they're looking to punch their ticket to the Gulf South District Championship next week in Tallahassee. We'll have a whistle away from the ball, and I think they're going to call a foul on Snead State. Not sure who the defender was. I was trying to bull his way through the screen, and that's on Josiah Harding. He will foul out. And indeed, that's his 5th personal foul, so he struggled all throughout the day in foul trouble and leaves with 3:46 to go, scoring just 3 points. So it looks as if Butler check that. They say initially on Harding, but they're going to instead call the foul on Xavier Price, his third. So 1-1 free throw as the bonus opportunity up and good for Elijah Pippins. So now pretty much every possession down the stretch of this ball game for Coastal Alabama North becomes even more precious because the time is not on their side. Pippins with 5, and now make it 6. 2 of 2 from the line. Snead State with 18 fouls. So both teams will be shooting free throws, and in fact, speaking of which, on cue, a foul on Coastal Alabama North. They'll call the foul on Tank Washington, his third. Just stuck the ankle out there and tripped a Snead State Parson guard in the backcourt about 93 feet away from the basket. Ray Raleigh goes the other way for a couple of free throws. Big free throws on the way to make it maybe a 10-point advantage as the first of 2 up and good. Raleigh and Butler have combined for 45 of the Parsons' 78 so far today. One more free throw on the way. That's up and also good. Very impressive squad is Snead State, 13-3 in the regular season in conference play, and they've won 21 games overall this year. Pippins down the lane, creates space, banks it up, no. Rebound to Reed. A second try under 3.5 minutes to go. Here's McIntyre, scoops it up, no. Rolls off in the rebound to Turner Durley. A missed opportunity that time as the Parsons in the black tops and bottoms, they have a chance to maybe take their largest lead of the day. A strong finish here in the final few minutes so far for Snead State, the number 2 seed, trying to topple the top seed in the tournament. As all the way to the basket, Raleigh blocked that time by Reed. Coming the other way, Washington loses it and turns it over. That's a big miscue for the Coyotes as we're under 3 minutes to go in the ball game. Raleigh in the backcourt as Harding still with 4 fouls. Has it at the point. Breaks down his defender, goes into the lane, lays it up, no, but he'll go to the line for a couple. So looks as if that Snead State has that chance to get to the finish line as the window ever so slightly starting to close for Coastal Alabama North. The foul on Brittany Reed, his second. As the first of two coming up and good for Josiah Harding. A first-team member of the all-conference squad for Division II. Looks as if Reed comes out, and also back in comes Gerard Living. One more free throw to go for Harding, who's been plagued by foul trouble today. Both free throws up and good is now Snead State up by a dozen. Quick substitution as they'll allow Ozell Purifoy to check in for Coastal Alabama North. 9-1-1 territory now for the top seed Coyotes. This is pretty much a must-score chance here as we'll have an officials timeout on the floor. Looks as if that the shot clock was not reset. And so they'll add 3 more seconds to the shot clock. We've got 2:24 to go in the ball game. Snead State had an 11-point lead, 40-29 at halftime. And Snead State had their lead, which was at 13, cut to as little as 2. But the Parsons have been able to progressively build that lead back up to a dozen. Coyotes need to score here if they want to keep any shot of coming back. As Pippins over to Reed for a long three, an air ball as it goes out of bounds to Snead State. Going to be awfully hard at this point for the Coyotes to battle back in this ball game. As Snead State, they see their season continuing into Tallahassee next week in a little less than 2 minutes. Snead State in the double bonus as a trap against Raleigh. Now Turner Durley finds Darling. Darling tries to go in. He'll lay it up and gets it to go. That might have done it for Snead State as Harding with the last 4 for his team in the ball game. Coming the other way, the floater up and no good for Ozell Purifoy. And he'll go to the line for a couple with the clock stopped at 91 seconds left until the finish line is here. They'll call the foul on Ray Raleigh, just his second. 9th team foul. And so Ozell Purifoy with 19 to the line. We'll have the presentation of the all-tournament team as well as the runner-up and championship trophy once we get to the conclusion of this ball game as the first of 2 missed by Purifoy. Coastal Alabama North settled in the first half for a lot of contested mid-range jumpers, and they built a hole in the first half that they almost were able to climb out of, but Snead State able to at least overwhelm Coastal Alabama North over the final 6 minutes of this second half. They'll spread it around, and wisely turning down the shot that time was O'Neal. Here's the bounce pass. Into Price, back out to O'Neal. Now he'll trigger the 3, no good. And the offensive rebound to Harding as he'll go in, misses the bank shot, gets it back, and sticks it in for 2. Strong finish for Josiah Harding, up to 9 as the other way Pippins fouled on the play. And he goes to the line for 2 with 54 seconds left in the game. So the foul on Xavier Price, that is his 4th personal foul. Elijah Pippins to the free throw line for a couple, but it appears that Coastal Alabama's journey in the postseason about to come to an end. First of a couple coming out. That's up and that's in for his first of 2. So Elijah Pippins up to 7. Josiah Harding with the last 6 points in the ball game for his squad. For Snead State, as both free throws connected on by Elijah Pippins. As we'll have a whistle, and now the final timeout called for Coach Chuck Taylor and Coastal Alabama North. A great season for the Coyotes, as it appears their 24-25 season going to come to an end here in Montevallo, Alabama. The largest lead of the ball game for Coastal, or I beg your pardon, for Snead State at 16. With 54 seconds to go, Snead State has an 85-71 advantage over the top seed Coyotes of Coastal Alabama North. Snead State defeated Marion Military Institute yesterday, the number 3 seed, 84-63, and so far another strong performance here in the ACCC Division II Conference Tournament. Also checking in for the first time today, Gabe Stevens, the freshman forward for the Coyotes. Clock under 50 seconds left as we'll see the championship trophy hoisted by the Parsons once we get to the finish line. Does not appear the Coyotes will foul. Harding will just dribble at the basketball here as the shot clock at 10. What might be the final offensive possession today for the Parsons as Harding goes in, and he's fouled before the shot, but 2 free throws coming up with 26.6 seconds to go. But a strong finish to the ball game for Snead State as we'll have a fresh 5 come in after these couple of free throws set to be shot by Josiah Harding. Great game plan and a well-executed game plan for the Parsons today. As the free throw on the way up and good for Josiah Harding. So he's into double figures. He was at 1 point for much of this ball game as he had 2 early fouls in the first half. So we'll have a fresh 4 players and then 1 more if Harding can convert the free throw. Free throw up, and that's good. So Harding will appropriately check out as he finishes with 11 points in the ball game. Tyler Gainey, one of those that checks in. Also, Jamari Glover. Jalen Spain checks in, as well as Caden Totten. And then 1 more also, Kendarius Irvin, the fresh 5 on the floor for Snead State. 10 seconds to go in the ball game. Does not appear that Coastal Alabama will shoot 1 more time. A strong performance today for Snead State as they take down and really dominate the top seed in Coastal Alabama North. 87-71, your final, as Snead State improves to 22-8 on the season. And to close out the season, Coastal Alabama North drops to 20-12 on the year. So your final score for today's ball game, Snead State 87 and Coastal Alabama North 71. Snead State led by the game-high 24 from Davion Butler, one of 4 players in double figures for the Parsons, as right behind Butler was Ray Raleigh with 22, 11 for Harding, and 13 off the bench from J. Dern O'Neal. For Coastal Alabama North, they got 19 from Tank Washington, also 19 from Ozell Purifoy, and then 8 points from Elijah Pippins. We're almost set for the post-game announcement of our all-tournament team, as well as the presentation of the runner-up and championship trophies as Commissioner Dean Myrick down on the floor. A big thanks to all of our crew this week. Robert Williamson that handled the play-by-play for the first 2 days, as well as an outstanding job by Nathaniel McCall behind the camera today. As we appreciate you for joining us today here on JockJive.com. We'll let you hear the sights as far as here at the campus of the University of Montevallo at Central State Bank Arena at McChesney Student Activity Center. So for all of our folks here with JockJive.com, James Hardy signing off as you have been watching the ACCC basketball tournament here on JockJive.com, as we'll leave you with the announcement of the all-tournament team as well as the presentation of the runner-up and championship trophy.
eligibility. On behalf of the Alabama Community College Conference and Commissioner Dean Myron, we congratulate all the teams, coaches, and student athletes on a great 2024-25 season and tournament. A lot of hard work, time, and effort by all enablers to crown a champion today. The ACCC extends its sincere appreciation to the University of Montevallo Athletic Director Mark Richard and staff for hosting and the hospitality that has been shown. Let's give everyone a round of applause. And now we will present the all-tournament team. First, from Marion Military Institute, Kamari Slaughter. From Coastal North, DeAndrea Washington.
Oh, man. Sorry. Yeah, that's my thing.
Also, from Coastal North, Joshua Whitehurst. From Snead State, Davion Butler. Also from Snead State, Xavier Price. And the tournament's most valuable player is awarded to Ray Ryan of Snead State Community College.
Ray!
And at this time, we would like to recognize the Coyotes from Coastal Alabama North Community College on their ACCC runner-up finish and a great season. Let's give it up for the Coyotes.
I can join you? Oh, yeah! And now, to present the 2025 ACCC Basketball Championship Trophy to the Parsons of Snead State Community College. Congratulations on a great season, guys. And a big congratulations again to all the teams, the coaches, and student athletes on a great season. We thank everyone for supporting your teams and the Alabama Community College Conference